Greetings and salutations, my fellow rodents. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined, as always, by the boy.
Scree.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast. Before we get into what we're podcasting about, I know it's a mystery. What do the kids say these days? Obliterate that like button like it was your mother. Subscribe to the channel. Because it's also your mother. Leave a comment about your mother in the comments section. If you would subscribe to my Patreon, which is also your mother.
No, that's bad. They don't like the mother.
You got to give her $5 though, because money hurts people. Buy my books, which are about your mother, and Rob is cool.
He's not your mother. He's Rob, and he's cool.
Rob is also your mother.
No!
I don't know, all that shit. What do I used to say? Twitch. I stream about your mom on Twitch. Unless your mom's Fallout too. Yeah, let's talk about The Suicide Squad.
The article is very important.
I think I would have gone with Suicide Squad, but good this time, we swear. I didn't hate the first one. But I think marketing-wise, I think that would have done well.
So, I want to get something out of the way first. Before we talk about the thing on the giant, thumbnail in front of you. I actually finally did watch Birds of Prey. The day before we went to go see The Suicide Squad, I wanted to get it out of the way. Because I realized that I basically owed it to the past version of me who so loved dunking on White about not liking Black Widow in the MCU. I gotta be willing to I gotta be willing to take if I can give. So I went to go see Birds of Prey, and I do hate that version of Cassandra Cain as Cassandra Cain. I otherwise love the character, because garbage child who steals things is just good storytelling. I just wish they'd named her something else. Aside from that, the movie's fucking fantastic. Amazing movie. Really had a good time with it. Love all the characters in it. Black Mask, absolute standout. Just wanted to get that out of the way because there wasn't enough material to do a whole podcast on it. I wanted to say it on the internet where people could hear it.
If you want my opinion...
go listen to other podcasts.
Yeah, there's one, it's got Sonic the Hedgehog on it also. I talk about it there.
Yep. All right, there we go.
In brief, I thought it was good. Really good. Anyway.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. Spoiler-free review real quick?
Sure.
Go fucking watch The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, no one else is. Do it.
I mean, like enough people have. I feel like I did okay with the streaming included. But, yeah, support this movie. Watch Peacemaker when it comes out.
Do you like Guardians of the Galaxy? You're watching this podcast. You've probably seen Guardians of the Galaxy. Watch The Suicide Squad.
Would you like an edgier Guardians of the Galaxy?
Watch The Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Okay. That was the spoiler-free review. Not like we're going to immediately jump into spoilers, but, like, that part's over now, so,
God, I so wanted to immediately jump into spoilers as a bit.
I think we did that before pretty recently.
Yeah,
with Black Widow or something, so...
Alright, a little bit of a pause. So, you know how the trailer said, don't get attached? The movie also says that, in big, bold font right at the beginning.
Yes.
Hope you weren't interested in listening and watching 2 hours of Pete Davidson do anything, because you're not gonna fucking get it.
I wasn't.
Or Javelin, or Michael Rooker as Prodigy, or Weasel, or poor, much maligned Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang.
I didn't know that people didn't like him. That's weird.
I don't get it.
I have to imagine it's fans of the Flash series. Maybe Captain Boomerang's really big there.
I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing, though, and this is something we discussed a lot, is clearly the DC has given up on continuity, largely.
I hope this version of Captain Boomerang comes back. Weren't you dead? Man, I got over it. And then that's all they talk about. Fuck it.
Or if not, there'll be a Flash movie where there's a different Captain Boomerang. It doesn't fucking matter.
Continuity is dead. Long live the Elseworlds.
That's how I feel.
You're never going to be the MCU. Do your own thing. That's a smart call.
Yeah, so initially, when the beach scene occurred, where all these people fucking die, I was like, oh man, why you gotta be like that? And why you gotta be grim and gritty, kill everybody? But honestly, it was a good call. First of all, because they grabbed up a bunch of Z-rate villains that really nobody cares about.
No one was ever going to use Blackguard.
TDK is like the only one.
No one was going to use Arms Fall Off Boy.
But like, that was the only reason because it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, it was good because it really made you not know who was going to survive the rest of the film. It gave me tension I haven't had in a movie in a long time. There's a scene that I think was in the trailers late into the movie where they're running through a collapsing building. And at that moment, I was like, wow, I have pretty good odds on Harley Quinn surviving because, you know, franchises, but I don't know who else is going to make it out.
Yeah, it's really good storytelling if it gives a bunch of fun actors a nice cameo. They can do the whole big suit up sequence. And it's a nice bait and switch. It's a good swerve.
Yeah.
And it helps establish don't get attached. It helps establish no one is safe. We are perfectly willing to kill any of these characters, bar Harley Quinn. 'Cause, I mean, 555, come on now.
She the franchise, baby.
We're not murdering the Golden Goose.
The Jack Sparrow of the DCEU.
But the rest of these people are all up for grabs. And you need to get used to that. And it's not like they do it to all of the Z-rate villains, all of A Squadron, but B Squadron, all our actual heroes, they make it through the movie fine. No. Nope, that is not what happens.
Yeah. A lot of people die. And I really like the song choice after a lot of people die, where they just kind of go, hey man, people die.
This is a list of all my friends who died.
Yeah.
And they show you a list of all the people who died. That was very fun.
Yeah, this movie is very fun. It feels like it's got Birds of Prey energy. Not quite as manic, but, in that James Gunn style.
It very much feels like a James Gunn movie to me.
Yeah.
He's clearly got a vibe, and this is it.
And, 100%, because the studio was the most hands-off with anything they've ever been.
They just said, hey, you just print money for Disney and then they fired you like morons? Come print money for us. And he went, okay. And then Disney went, oh no, people can work for others? Oh no! Come back, Mr. Gunn.
Idris Elba looked around. Was I not supposed to... I'm fine. Okay.
Yeah, we're done with you.
Okay, just making sure.
I like Idris Elba. The general consensus is that Bloodsport is only in this movie because Will Smith said no to this movie. Otherwise, it would have been a different guy playing Deadshot, or Deadshot if Will Smith said yes. But Will Smith said not to this movie, but maybe for a different one. So they made a new Deadshot, a new better Deadshot with cooler character arcs and more awesome gear. And they did that. This is better Deadshot.
Honestly, I just think Idris Elba's a better actor than Will Smith these days.
You don't need that second part.
I don't know, man. I've seen 7 pounds.
Shit, you're right. Will Smith is often phoning it in. Whereas
yeah.
Idris Elba is less likely to phone it in.
I mean, he's got a cool accent.
He does.
I'm an American woman. What can I say?
We like accents because we don't got none.
And that, helps him a lot. He could phone it in with the cool accent and kind of...
It really does work most of the time.
Scene, yeah. Man, it's hard to talk about this film without doing, ironically, or not ironically, I suppose, expectedly, the Guardians of the Galaxy podcast. There's so much to love about this film.
Yeah, for people who haven't watched literally, our fucking third podcast.
It was way back then, wasn't it?
We did a thing where we reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy, and we basically just spent the whole podcast quoting the movie at you. So, the movie, but worse.
And out of order, and...
No.
And one of them was me, so I only half remembered the lines.
We pledged not to do that anymore. And here James Gunn fucking did it again. He made a movie that is so eminently enjoyable and quotable and fun that the best review we can give of it is just literally quoting lines at you.
I think I can do better. First of all, stylistically, I was really taken by surprise. I loved the title cards.
The Irkutsks.
Yeah, the written in the scene, the name of the chapter or issue that they were going through.
Well, I love them because they were comic book covers.
Yeah.
They were, the Suicide Squad versus Starro the Conqueror. That's a comic book cover.
Yeah.
And they basically all were, and I love that.
Yeah, it was really, really eye-catching and, fun. And I'm glad they started them early because, I don't know, man, I wasn't in a bad mood when we went to see the movie, but I don't think I was ready for the movie.
You were not ready for the jelly. You were not ready for Don't Get Attached.
But I got there. It brought me there, and those titles really helped me get there. Also, Harley Quinn's escape scene with all of its animated Harley Quinn nonsense going on in the background, gorgeous.
Where she has a cool spear, javelin, and uses it in a badass fight scene after, mind you, just John Wicking a whole fucking crew of dudes.
The action in this film was fucking cool.
Make Harley Quinn, continue to give Harley Quinn more powerful, cool action scenes. Just make her the lady from the Resident Evil movies. I don't care. I want to see her just fucking mowing down dudes like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando. It's great.
Yes. Yes. Buy my book. Yes.
Shh, boy, do you want to get seed?
Ironically, not an inspiration, but I can see why people would think that. Anyway, John Cena.
John Cena is a fucking good actor.
And a treasure in this film.
He didn't used to be, but now he is a good actor.
He was everything I wanted.
Yeah, look, when they put the sign out for Peacemaker as John Cena, and John Cena said, "Oh, so he's douchey Captain America." Okay. I was like, "Oh, yeah, pretty much." And I want to. He seemed like it seemed like MCU tier casting.
Yeah.
I use that term specifically because the MCU is notoriously just fucking perfect at casting. They don't miscast anybody ever for anything. It's absurd. And this is MCU tier casting. This is perfect casting. This is who you want playing someone like Peacemaker. And he brings more to this table than was necessary. He could have just been essentially a joke. And don't get me wrong, he is. But he also brings a level of weirdly uncalled for nuance to Peacemaker.
I think he is what I expected. This portrayal is what I expected when U.S. Agent was revealed to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah,
this is... If U.S. Agent is to use the old term, a tweener, this is a heel U.S. Agent.
Sure.
And this is good shit. He is a joke. The character is very funny. The whole movie.
I mean, that's the movie. But, unlike some other more wacky movies and some moments in movies like Thor Ragnarok, when it's time for things to be serious and shit to breathe, it's time.
That's a really good point. A good contrast between James Gunn and Taika Waititi, who's actually in this movie.
And is wonderful.
Fucking wonderful. But a good contrast is James Gunn knows when to let a story beat breathe. Taika Waititi doesn't.
Taika Waititi is writing comedy first. I think James Gunn and I come from a similar intellectual writing school of thought in that people make jokes. Life is funny. Irony and misery go hand in hand. But there's also time to be serious. And I think James Gunn is writing a serious film with jokes.
And I like that better. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. Man, I keep looking at the timer and going, wow, I feel like I've talked about this movie forever because I keep playing all the scenes over and over again in my head.
You know what? Let's talk about some standout scenes and moments.
Okay.
That way we can avoid Guardians of the Galaxy it, but still talk about things.
Yeah.
First up, I really enjoyed... and this might just be because, with Hollywood being what it is, it might be that the actor's done or whatever. But it was very ballsy of them to kill Rick Flag.
Killed him where he died in the comics.
Yeah. Ballsy. Because, I mean, like, that is not really what you expect.
Right.
Don't get attached. It was ballsy of them to do that even after murdering the whole A Squad. Because if there was, like, Rick Flag, pretty high likelihood of getting it out. Like, if it goes Harley, the character that's being played by Idris Elba, the character that's being played by John Cena, Rick Flag.
Yeah.
So they went for it. I like that. I like that fight. I like that fight a lot. I don't so much like the big section of the scene that was filmed in Peacemaker's helmet. I get thematically and stylistically what you were going for. It was just weird.
I really dug it, but I'm glad it wasn't the whole fight.
Same. That would have sucked.
I liked it as a setup piece, and maybe it went on about 5 seconds too long, but like, eh.
Yeah, that's fair. That's nitpicky.
Yeah.
I love Peter Capaldi as the Thinker. I love his little rant, the one little rant they give him, because it's just a Doctor Who rant, but evil. So the good casting. I like the emotional, the weirdly powerful emotional payoff that you don't expect out of Ratcatcher 2 and Polka Dot Man of all fucking things.
Yeah.
Like, Polka Dot Man gets a really genuine emotional payoff in this movie. Like an actual moment of triumph after being basically the poop shoot for the whole movie. And it's really unexpected. And then other things happen that are unexpected.
There's another rant that I'll call the Milton rant that felt really real, too. Just really like something that would actually happen in that scenario. And I also love that Harley Quinn does not ever break character, ever. By which I mean that, like, she's not written as being weirdly sentimental in excess of what she actually is. She will stand in the background and say stupid shit because she's so fucking detached from everything that's all that's keeping her going. And it's good. And even the times where she is emotional and she's going through her own feelings, she's going through them as her character, not as, oh, I'm Harleen Quinzel now. It's just a mask.
Yeah, it's not... Harley Quinn isn't an act.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
Lesser versions of Harley Quinn as a character, particularly since her face turn, make Harley Quinn an act Harleen Quinzel puts on. That's not the deal. She's fucking crazy. And I like that this movie respects that.
Yeah.
There's this one rant. It's actually probably my favorite part of the whole movie for her, where she, this is a big, medium spoiler, I would say, immediately kills a guy she just slept with because he starts saying some heinous shit. And, like, she delivers this rant clearly for herself at this dying man, talking about how she swore to herself, given her taste in men, the next time she saw a red flag, she would go ahead and do the right thing and murder that guy. And just, it's so good because it's so in character. Because clearly, this is for her entertainment. She's not really all that invested in him hearing it. And then there's this one line, which I think does such a great job to portray how genuinely fucking cracked and insane Harley Quinn is, while still trying to not necessarily to, as Birds of Prey put it, be less of a terrible person. Which is, you're real pretty and all, but I think you're prettier like this, with all those evil thoughts drained out of your head. That's... Dude, with a different sound score, that's horrifying.
Yes. And a different set of circumstances leading up to it.
That is some shit you hear someone say before they skin you. That is some fucked up shit.
It was awesome, and just more about why I love this conflicted character. Harley was way better in this movie than I thought she was going to be.
Again, I've seen people online say that every version of Harley Quinn has been a different person. Like, the one from Suicide Squad isn't very similar to the one from Birds of Prey, who isn't very similar to the one from this movie. Those people are stupid and not paying attention.
Yeah, she's got a very defined character arc, down to the fact that she has some different tattoos now. She got rid of some. One has been changed. Now, are there, like, tattoo scars? No, because we live in a place where,
Shut up.
Idris Elba pulls guns out of the air.
Yeah, shush. It's
So
cooler this way. Shut
tattoo
up.
removal is probably easier. But, like, she's growing, and I love that. The same scene, the reason she kills the guy is he specifically mentions killing children.
And she specifically highlights, like, talking about killing the people who disagree with you and their family and their friends. I was fine up to that point.
And this is reflective of the bond she created with not Cassandra Cain from Birds of Prey.
Killing kids is kind of a red flag.
So, like, she's developing and blooming. I think the most genuine conversation she has, the moment she allows herself to open up realistically, is at the very end. And then she immediately follows it up with a joke because that was enough being raw for
We're done
today.
now.
You got 2 seconds of that, and now I'm back to Harley Quinn.
What's the line from Parks and Rec? Sometimes I like to call people by the wrong name unintentionally just to let them know I don't care about them that much.
I guess let's... I don't think this is a perfect film.
No, you know what? That's good. Making space for genuine criticisms of the movie is good.
I think if you're young, in your teens, there's a lot of tropes this movie does that you will see for the first time and really like. And I think that's, I guess that's my backward way of saying I'm jaded, so some of these moments didn't hit as well as they might have.
Well, name one.
The camp infiltration scene. Where they go to the place where Flag is being held.
Yeah.
I saw that coming from a mile away.
I don't think you weren't supposed to.
And, like, it was funny.
I feel like that was definitely a situation of dramatic irony.
Sure.
Like, we know what the deal is,
Sure.
but the characters don't.
I think I would have enjoyed it more if I didn't know what the deal was.
If it wasn't dramatic irony,
Yeah.
if it was revealed to you along with the characters,
Yes.
it would have made the punchline hit harder.
Yeah, and I feel like that would have been the case. I feel like they could have done something to not make it look so obvious. Not have these people just minding their own fucking business doing laundry.
I think I like that they were, because it serves to make what would have otherwise been like a very cool heroic sequence where these two guys are, having a murder competition who can make the cooler kill. It served to reinforce these are not heroes. They're doing it to innocent people, but it's still pretty fucking cool, isn't it? No one likes to show off unless what they're showing off is dope as fuck.
Yes.
Responded to with fuck.
Fuck, that's true.
But like, I understand entirely why you wouldn't necessarily enjoy that so much.
And that's the pinpoint I can make. That's sort of the oeuvre through a lot of this is I've seen some of these jokes enough before, or some of these setups, and it's not like they were done poorly. They're good versions of them. It's just I'm old.
You know what? I'll highlight one of mine.
Okay.
And it's actually a pretty central one to the movie. I don't know if anyone, and you can maybe be my highlight for this because I don't know where you come from cinematically. If anyone didn't see the America Bad quote-unquote twist coming, I'd like to talk to you about what movies you've been watching for the last 30 years.
I didn't see it coming because I wasn't looking for it, but when it showed up, I was like, oh, one of these.
Yeah, and like, I do actually get kind of tired of those. It's very central to the movie here. It does good things for the characters involved, so I'm not mad at it.
And it's very typical of
The Suicide Squad.
and this kind of film in general. James Gunn said he wanted to make a 1970s action movie.
And yeah, it's Rambo.
Yeah.
Like, it's very typical of the genre. It's very typical of the Suicide Squad. Amanda Waller doesn't send people in to fix things that aren't gonna... That's not her deal. She's not trying to help.
Well, and that's a lovely dark thing that they don't make a super strong point of, but seems very obvious in the subtext, is that the entirety of Squad A was Amanda Waller getting rid of some shit that she didn't want anymore.
Like Harley Quinn.
Or Flag, since he's such a,
He can't be relied upon. He's a wild card. And he does some wild card shit in this movie. And guess what? she had a plan for that.
Yeah.
But like, I get tired of America Bad being the quote-unquote twist in every of this kind of movie, but
I didn't feel it as a twist, I guess, is also part of why it didn't bug me. And I wouldn't say that you're wrong in thinking that at all. It just didn't hit me that way. It was more like, and now this is a plot that happens.
I don't mind it in this specific context because you have people who can use it for good character moments.
Sure.
Like Rick Flag, who is a patriot and sees what's happening, and it is a genuine fucking flip out moment for him.
And I think that helps it a lot, actually, because Rick Flag reacts to what happens. Instead of it just being like some moment of awestruck horror as the audience has to deal with that. Oh, this is totally this thing. And immediately he's like, fuck this. I'm so tired of this shit. Like...
And then Peacemaker is one of the moments when he has genuine, like, uncalled for nuance. Even Peacemaker acknowledges that what they did here was fucked up. Literally, he says, no one is saying what they did was right. That is uncalled for nuance for that character, and John Cena pulls it off. So I don't mind it here.
Yeah.
But they had to win me back.
Right.
I'll put it like that.
And that's kind of the drawbacks that this film has as a whole. I don't think anything that happened in this movie is something that would upset me. And honestly, I think if I rewatched it, when I rewatch it, I will like it more. Because there is a lot of subtlety and nuance in this film from Jump Street, from Squad A getting nuked. They've got that little thing that shows their explosion collars when they have to blow up Michael Rooker, and some of those people are still marked as alive. So they kind of tell you there about, that's a thing. Later in the movie, again, we're in the spoiler territory, after you think Peacemaker is dead, they flash to the device to blow up the surviving members.
Peacemaker's still noted as alive.
Yeah. And I didn't notice it at the time, because I was, like, sucked into the fucking movie. But, like, that's amazing setup and payoff of bullshit nuance stuff.
And just respecting the continuity in the movie.
Yes, that too.
That's good shit. I fucking think the Peacemaker series is going to be great.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Peacemaker series is going to be him doing a face turn.
Maybe by the end of it.
Just because why make a series? The character has to go through some kind of growth.
I don't know, man. If it were just 8 episodes of John Cena playing that character, I'd be all right.
And just being a complete shitbag, but he gets the job done.
Just the whole fucking time, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, thinking about it, that'd be fine too. I just don't think it's what they're
No, sure. I think there's like a grander plan at stake here, but I would take it. Getting to see more Z-list DC characters. I mean, I love Z-list DC characters.
Yeah. I love that the Suicide Squad movies are clearly in a different continuity than the Justice League movies. There's a different fucking continuity.
Yeah, I guess more or less. I don't know. It's DC. Things are weird. Weird shit happens all the time.
Yeah, look, it's Elseworlds. Yeah. It's fine.
It's there's going to be a crisis eventually. This guy's going to get all red and we got to do some shit. I do want to talk about, since we were talking about Amanda Waller, I love that they went as hard with her as she is.
This is a better version of Amanda Waller than the first Suicide Squad. And if you go back and listen to that podcast, we praised that version. Where she did some shit like, oh, these people are useless to me now. I'm just going to murk them all. That's good. Threatening to kill an innocent little girl to get your asset to do what he's fucking supposed to, that's Amanda Waller.
And I love that all of these characters, at various turns are trying to do the right thing or the smart thing or the safe thing, and she's like, all right, then die.
That's not what you're not here to do the right thing. You're not here to do the smart thing. You're not here to do the safe thing. You're here to do the thing I told you to do. You do the thing I told you to do, or I'm going to murder you. And I like that the other people around her, it's not just like Amanda Waller is part of a machine that is corrupt and evil. Amanda Waller is evil. Because the people around her even go, okay, no, that's fucked up.
But I also like that she exists as a cog within that bureaucracy so effectively, because those people are still alive after that.
Yeah, after fucking doming her.
She has no license to execute her coworkers. She has license to execute the supervillains.
Yes. And she's not in the middle of a war zone where no one will ever know, so she can't get away with executing her coworkers because people will know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she definitely would have.
Oh, sure, yeah. I think we've talked a lot of the movie out. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I really hope we get another one. This movie did okay, and I hope it did okay enough that they let James Gunn make another one of these.
I hope we get more James Gunn superhero shit, period.
I mean, yeah, Guardians 3 is going to be great.
Yes. Anything else before I go on my little spoilerific glee?
No! Fucking go nuts!
Sometimes you see something at the beginning of the film. I'll use Saw as an example. If you haven't seen Saw, the original, spoilers for Saw. When I first saw that movie, I pointed to the dead man on the floor, laughed, and said, "That's the killer." And when he got up and removed his energy mask to reveal Tobin Bell, I was excited with childlike glee. Let me tell you a second story. I was one of the people who clamored and celebrated the weird girl from a Marvel annual that hung out with Iron Man and defeated Doctor Doom with squirrels. I had that annual. I might still have it somewhere, or holiday special, or whatever it was. I love Squirrel Girl, and I was so happy when she became like a legitimate character again, and even more so as time goes on. I love her power set. I love her optimism. And, like, I recognize it's toxic for comic books, and so I don't like it for that reason, but I really enjoyed for a while when she could do shit like punch out Thanos with squirrels. So, when this movie began, and they brought me Ratcatcher 2, who I was excited for because I love rats. Most rodents, really. I really just wanted one big swarm of rats moment. I wanted Squirrel Girl to punch out Thanos. And then they gave it to me. And then they gave you all something as well. And the thing they gave you all that you wanted so much before Endgame came out was for Ant-Man to shrink down real small and go up inside Thanos' butthole and destroy him from the inside out. Now, if you've seen this movie, you know what happens. And this is a part where I tell you, much to my FBI agent's chagrin, I Googled, where is a starfish's butthole? It's on the front.
Starfish is a slang term for butthole.
Right.
Do you think that might have any connection? Everything's better when nerds talk about it.